Welcome back to the channel, where we dive deep into the incredible books of the Bible. What if your entire purpose came down to one terrifying moment? What if God placed you in a palace, not for comfort, but for courage? Today, we journey through one of the most remarkable stories in the Bible, the Book of Esther. God behind the scenes, a tale of courage, reversal, and divine providence. A story where God's name is never mentioned, and yet, He is everywhere. Chapter 1. The Fall of Queen Vashti. We begin in the lavish Persian palace of King Xerxes, known in Hebrew as Ahasuerus, ruler of an empire stretching from India to Ethiopia. He throws a 6-month celebration of his greatness, and at the peak of this drunken pride, he commands Queen Vashti to parade before his guests. She refuses, a bold act of dignity. The king is humiliated. Vashti is deposed, and so begins the search for a new queen. Chapters 2. Esther chosen as queen. Enter Esther, a young Jewish girl, orphaned, raised by her cousin Mordecai in exile. She is beautiful, but more than that, wise, gracious, and faithful. She is taken into the king's harem, and after a year of preparation, she is chosen as queen. But no one knows she's Jewish. Behind the scenes, God is orchestrating destiny. Chapter 3. The rise of Haman and the plot to destroy the Jews. Now enters the villain, Haman, a powerful advisor filled with arrogance and ancestral hatred for the Jews. When Mordecai refuses to bow to him, Haman's rage grows. He doesn't just want Mordecai dead, he wants to wipe out all the Jews in the empire. A decree is issued. A day is set. The genocide is scheduled. But God is not absent. Chapter 4. For such a time as this. Mordecai sends word to Esther. Do not think you will escape in the palace. If you remain silent, deliverance will come from another place. But who knows if you have come to the kingdom for such a time as this? Esther is terrified. Approaching the king without an invitation could mean death. But after fasting for 3 days, she says, in Esther 4:16, if I perish, I perish. This is her moment. Chapters 5 to 7. The reversal begins. Esther risks everything. She approaches the king, and he grants her favor. She invites the king and Haman to a banquet, then another. At the second banquet, Esther drops the truth. If I have found favor, spare my people, for we are to be destroyed. The king is shocked. Who would dare do this? This wicked Haman, Esther replies. In a dramatic reversal, Haman is hanged on the very gallows he built for Mordecai. God is turning the tide. Chapters 8 to 10. Deliverance and celebration. Though Haman is dead, the decree still stands. But Esther and Mordecai write a new decree, that the Jews may defend themselves. On the day they were to be annihilated, the Jews fight and prevail. Mordecai is promoted. Esther remains queen, and the people celebrate with joy. From that day forward, a feast called Purim is established, so that future generations would remember how God turned their mourning into gladness. God in the silence. The Book of Esther is unique. God's name is never mentioned, but His fingerprints are everywhere. In Vashti's refusal, in Esther's beauty and wisdom, in Mordecai's position, in the sleepless night that leads the king to honor Mordecai, in the perfect timing of every event. This book reminds us that even when God seems silent, He is sovereign. You may not see Him, you may not hear Him, but He is working behind the curtain, always. The end. If this story encouraged you, give it a like, share with someone who needs faith for the unseen, and subscribe for more Bible breakdowns like this. Comment below. What moment from the story of Esther speaks to your heart today?